Hi, my name's Deborah Raymond, and I'm a coach for Jillian Berggren, and I observed her doing a math lesson. So I just want to say that I thought you did a good job, and I know it being kind of first-time teacher that it makes you nervous and everything, but I think that you did a good job. You had control of your classroom. I saw that you had singles to engage them or to get them focused, and you can tell me a little bit more about that. But when I did see that, the kids stopped what they were doing and focused on what you were saying. And then also, I liked the way you moved around your classroom, always checking with individuals, and you also had tables and groups, and so that was also good that you had your physical being around everyone and could immediately provide feedback to individuals and groups. All right? So, do you want to say?
Okay, well, I thought that was a good lesson. Myself, I felt that the kids were really engaged. I think they really liked the worksheet that I gave them in terms of like laying out the problem in the read, write, draw, write format, and that Deborah Raymond had instructed me to either highlight or circle the numbers in the question and then underline the question. And even today, when I gave the math assessment, there was a couple of word problems, and I saw students circling the numbers and underlining the question, and I thought that was really neat to see them still doing that. The lesson was really nice in terms of the engagement. Um, all the students were, working individually, and then they all got to show their work and and then in the end, kind of see what they did as a group because there were different ways to solve the problem. And I enjoyed seeing, being able to walk around and seeing what each student, how they solved the problem and how they came up with the solution to solve the problem. I thought that was really neat to go around the room to do that. I also really enjoyed listening to, they're very like, the class really wants to share how they got their answers, and they wanted to kind of celebrate that, how they came to the answer, what kind of solution they had, and their drawings. They wanted to show off their drawings. And then just pointing out that, a number is not an answer, but, writing it into a sentence. And, they really had a lot of pride in their work and doing the whole sheet and answering the entire problem. So I felt like it was a really good tool to use to have all the students be engaged in the word problems.
And then also um, the general class and the kind of keeping control of the group. But I also wanted to bring up that you have some challenges with the dynamics of your classroom that I think is pretty tough even for a first year teacher. So I want to, pat you on the back for how you are dealing with these really unique and difficult at times situations with these children. So I'll let you talk a little bit about who they are and how you're meeting their needs and stuff.
Oh, how much time do I have? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, my class is diverse in terms of learning levels and nationalities and how much English they know. And I have a student who, doesn't speak any English. He's from Yemen. I have a student from India who speaks broken English. And I have students that have just various learning needs. So in terms of the classroom dynamic, I have noticed that those kids have to kind of oversee or copy, if you will, the other kids, and I allow that to happen, but I've noticed that some of the kids don't like that, so I've set up a buddy group where those kids that desire to help the kids that need more help, they feel empowered, so I let them, help them get their books out, for instance, or help them finish their papers or help them with their assignments. And especially, because they don't know how to do it. So I do the buddy system with that. I have other needs in my class that I've worked on with cycle 1. And that was just the fact that my kids need a lot of attention. I have two girls who their moms are having babies, or they just had a baby and one's on their way, and they seem to need more TLC, more care in the classroom. I have students who have had issues with their football league, and they're bringing it into the classroom. They had a bad coach and they're rough and tough in the class. I have different behavioral issues, but I've noticed that they just need a lot of face time, and they need a lot of time with their teacher on a one-to-one basis. So I focused on letter writing and also like a whip around to kind of hear them out and give them that space, that time, so they can connect with me, their teacher, and let their voice be heard. The letter writing, I had them doing a letter to the teacher, and it was a wonderful assignment where they were able to tell me, anything about their lives, and I got to learn about, students who didn't want to sit next to certain people in their class, students who didn't feel like they were liked in their class. I learned, what students' favorite things were. I learned what their favorite subjects were, and it was just a wonderful learning assignment for me. And then I have other, in terms of with cycle 2, I've learned that with engagement, I'm turning my classroom into centers for our ELA, our English, in order for engagement, and also to basically, make sure that it's easier for me, as opposed to a whole group lesson. They can do assignments in small groups and work better together and get more accomplished than in a whole group setting. And also, I don't have it in a homogeneous, like, all the highs are in this one level and all the lows are in one group. I diversify it so that they can help each other out, so they can get the assignments finished. And I think from what's going on from when I started the centers till now, I see it turn like that the kids are so productive and they really enjoy their center time. They even get a chance to do Lexia and do that time, complete their time with Lexia. And the class isn't chatty, and they're focused more, and they're more attentive, and they're finishing their work. And I see a lot of my low kids. I'm surprised and happy to see what their work is, and they're just accomplishing so much in this space with the centers rather than a whole group instruction. So it's been good so far.
All right. Well, I think that this kind of wraps up our yeah, sure. We can talk about one more thing and then we'll wrap it up and go ahead.
So the other part of my cycle 2 is I tried the Kahoot game, which is a game where kids can play interactively. We did language arts, and it's a multiple subject questionnaire. Each kid is working on their own Chromebooks. The question is on the on the screen, and they are timed, so there's a bit of a pressure there, but they can pick what is the best answer. and then it's kind of a competition who gets the first question right. And they are so engaged with this program, and I really feel like it's solidifying what they're learning with their small group instruction, and reinforcing with these multiple choice questions that I can see what they're learning, what they're not. I can see as their teacher, and I think it's a really effective tool, and I plan to implement that on a weekly basis.
Okay, so I am pleased that you are incorporating so much technology. That's always wonderful, and it reaches many levels of children. And also the behavioral things that you're using that is engaging the students and stuff. And I just think, yeah, you're doing a great job, and I like the things we just talked about, and big pats on the back. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.